Hey everyone, welcome back to the All Music Matters Net podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Join me today. I welcome a special guest from the other side of the world in Vienna, Austria. We got Marina Vesic. Or did I pronounce the name right?
Yeah, hello, Brian. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Also known as Black Marine, which I guess is a little bit easier to pronounce too, so I can see why.
Yeah.
How you been recently? What's new?
Well, I had a lot of things going on and playing a lot with bands and doing my own stuff. So now I have like a little bit of like relax time, and the weather is not so bad. So it's all right.
That's good to know. And actually, when you had messaged me, I was actually over in England and Scotland at the time, so that's why I had to put it off till this weekend in order to do it. So it's a nice trip overall, even though actually I got a cold. So, and
Sorry.
actually, I did an interview yesterday with Approaching Autumn, which strongly recommend everybody goes check out. And that was first interview back, so it wasn't too bad. So we'll have to see how I hold up this time around here too. So I guess how's things in Vienna? I guess what's new out there?
Well, usually like same stuff, classical music, orchestra, and occasionally different bands are coming here to play. But when you mentioned Scotland, I was in Scotland in March, so it was very cold.
Let's say probably felt like winter time.
But here is like also almost like Mediterranean climate. It's like sometimes we have like 30 degrees Celsius, sometimes it's like today like 19, so it's a little bit like chilly. So it's okay. We are adjusting.
It's back and forth. Actually, I think this week it's gonna feel like summer heat out there, so I'm gonna be sweating a good bit. So finally get my workouts in. So let's see what. And I actually saw you were collaborating with Storm Kingdom. I guess how'd that all come about?
Oh yeah, I heard some of his stuff, and I was like really interested, like in collaboration. So I sent him a message, like I'm interested to work on something new. And right now, like in this moment, I'm like working on one song with him, and also I'm singing some parts in the song. And what I really like, it's like his different kind of approach to a compositional process, and I like how his songs are completely like different. Like there is like this kind of a song structure, but then at some point comes some part that you don't actually expect. So it's very refreshing and it's really new. So that's why I was like really interested to work on something new with him. And then now we are like in progress with one song, and then comes the other one. And what I really like is that I didn't have like this kind of collaboration where the part that you are like singing, you are like writing your own lyrics. So this is like a very interesting, a little bit challenging thing for me, and I really enjoy this collaboration. It's a very cool guy too.
Yeah, Justin's an awesome dude. I've actually collaborated with him a couple times, and actually, this was like the first single I ever put out, so that was a nice achievement. And that was actually this year too, which was Not for the Faint of Heart. So that's one for
Yeah,
the
I
memory
really
book.
like when I hear like different music, because we all hear like all the time maybe like something similar or something is like sound is like the same, but we all like to hear like something new, something refreshing, and yeah, hopefully there is like inspiration, and yeah, never know.
Hey, inspiration comes in on some pretty cool places at times there too. Even though I like to say odd places because it sometimes happens that way, but it's all good. So, but you get to elaborate more on the music. I guess anything else that you are doing with Justin or any other indie musicians in just a moment here too. But Marina, I want to welcome you to my podcast. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to ask you some questions. So let's get to know you more both as the musician, but also as the individual as well here too, because I think that message you sent to me through Instagram it looks like you got quite a history to talk about here too. So you ready?
Oh yeah, I didn't know like shall I like introduce myself, but yeah.
All right. In that case, let's go ahead and start there, I guess. Who are you? And how did you become a musician?
Well, I perform as a Black Marine with this name almost 20 years now. And I started with music when I was around 3 years old. I had like a toy piano, and then my family would give me like different kind of instruments and so. And then I start to play piano at the age of 6. So then you know how things goes. I went to primary music school and then music high school, and then I was at music academy studying composition and orchestration in Belgrade. Then I was studying electroacoustical composition in Vienna at Institute ELAC. And after that, I think it's like never-ending story. Then I decided to enter like a PhD doctorate program about popular music because I wanted like to expand that knowledge like from classical music to a little bit different range of popular music. And now I'm at the end of my PhD studies at the moment. So it's like all these things that happened like through my education. I met different musicians, different composers from all around the world. And I think that the most important year in my career so far was 1997, because then I won at the international competition for young composers in Belgrade that was organized by Radio Television of Serbia back then. And I was a little girl. And at that time, I did have a dream to becoming a composer, but also I was very interested in applied arts because I'm drawing and having my paintings. And then at that moment, I just knew like, okay, I think I'm going to go into this direction and to be a composer and to really learn and to see like where it goes. And so, yeah, I think through all my journey of this educational stuff, I had like so many projects. My first band was a punk band. And as I grew up in Yugoslavia, that was the band called Scarps, and I played there like keyboards. And at that time, it was like a really, really great experience for me because I was like growing up with classical music. And then on the other side, I had like different styles like punk and hardcore, and I really enjoyed that. So yeah, this is like a very road to becoming a composer.
That's an awesome story. And actually, were you around when the whole Yugoslavia war kind of broke out? I think, what was it, 91 and 92?
Yeah, between 90 and 94. Actually, my childhood, I grew up during the war time. So then the situation wasn't like really great to grow up. But then I think somehow when you are connected with music and with my piano, then you focus then on your music and on your skills, and somehow I don't know, somehow you go through that. But I think that also my friends back then, we all grew up at the same environment. So I think that through life later, we then know to appreciate more and to be happy because we grew up in a very, like, let's say, terrible situations. And then today we know how to be happy and to appreciate good people and things in life. So
I was to say, because I know Croatia and Bosnia don't really have a good relationship with Serbia, I guess. Has things at least calmed down somewhat, or is there still a little bad blood every now and again?
well, I mean, I played in Bosnia with my band Two Totems in 2017, and they were really great people. Such a warm welcome, and we really had a really good time. So I never had this experience like with people when I travel. I was also in Croatia. But also I don't live there like for a long time, so probably also my identity and my character as how I am probably is a little bit different. So, but I don't know. That's all politics. I think that people are good in general. But
Well, what hope?
also now when I'm saying about sorry, it's just when we were like one country, now we are like 5 countries. So suddenly you speak like 5 languages. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like advantage.
it's a little bit of a disadvantage, and a little bit more of a learning curve now, so I can see why. I just know it was more so for Wikipedia, but that's when I was looking up things on the Yugoslavia war there too. I think it was Behind Enemy Lines. I think that was with Owen Wilson, who played in that movie. It was one of the ones that kind of dealt with what was going on during the Yugoslavian war there too, but seemed more between the Serbs and the Bosnians. So tragic, to say the least, there too. So hopefully we're turning the page right there, and things are starting to look on the up and up. So we'll see what happens. And
Yeah, I actually don't like to watch this kind of movies because if you survived something, why would you like to watch? But then when there are like really some good movies, like I don't know, I watched Oppenheimer because of such a good reviews, and I'm very curious by nature. So then, but sometimes I give a movie a chance. Let's say that way.
well, I also ended up like a movie like Saving Private Ryan, for instance, too. That one dealt with D-Day, and then the whole thing with going into Normandy afterwards there too. So I mean, you always get a remake of something in the U.S. sense. It's normally replaying events from like World War II, maybe in an historical fiction wise, but still taking place. They still show like intense battle scenes and that sort of thing there too. So I get your point, but I'm just saying like it just happens, unfortunately, because it feels like you have to preserve that memory so it doesn't happen again, in a manner of speaking. So.
But also as an artist, I think also my other colleagues, most of my friends live in different part of the world. So then I think that those kind of experience that we all had, we can then put in our own art. Is that music or painting or poems or books? I don't know. So then I think there is a lot of this kind of stories and happening that one can actually tell really stories that happened and tell a story, right? So
That's true. And I guess speaking of music wise here too, I guess how many groups are you part of? Are you just doing Black Marine only, or are you part of some other musical projects at the moment?
well, I do play with different bands now and then. I play keyboards and I perform solo, and I like to collaborate with other people. And I'm like now more interested to do a little bit more in Vienna, where I live, because the last few years I was like playing in different countries, and then I just want to focus a little bit more here and to find out for other musicians they're actually living here, because I wasn't so often here that now when you're asking me about like do you know this band or so I like no. So it was a very it was a lot of traveling for me, but I did play in different bands, and occasionally I do play when someone need like replacement or anything, because I can very quickly learn the repertoire. I have scores. So basically, I can be like fit in 10 or maybe 14 days if I'm doing like only one repertoire. So this is like what I did, for example, with band B Movie. They're from England. So I played with them like 2 years ago. So that was like really a very creative things that I did with them. Yeah. So, but now mostly I'm focusing on my solo repertoire, and of course collaboration at the moment that I have with Justin, and also with he introduced me with his friend Carl from this group, and so we will see in the next song. it's very exciting, and I'm really looking forward where it's going, where it's going actually.
I guess how'd you come up with the name Black Marine? I guess where'd they come from?
Oh, that's very interesting story. I was with the punk band The Scarps, and my drummer at the time, he was like, because I was always wearing black and black long hair and nothing like special. And then he's like, well, you are like all the time black and marine, and you can be like Black Marina. And then I'm like, Black Marina, Black Marine. So this is how actually the name comes from. And that was a very cool time when we performed together. So then comes my name, Black Marine, and I really liked it. And so I made myself a logo. This is logo that I did for my T-shirt, like something similar with this. So
I was gonna say I see like some of the influence of Harley Quinn from the Batman series. Is that where kind of the whole logo came from?
actually, no. This I drew this before because I used to wear like before like this my hair, and then I just came up with my, actually it's supposed to be my face.
I can
My
say it.
face.
Okay, that's pretty cool. You know, I was looking at it too. Like, oh, she must have been real big into Harley Quinn and the whole thing with the Joker when it was Batman series. I guess. Have you ever watched Batman before?
Yeah, of course, of course. I'm watching a lot of movies, and I'm interested a lot into um, music for films. What I composed for movies before. So of course I'm interested, and I did watch, and I think she is cool, and the character is cool. So I do like it. So there is nothing. It's not wrong what you actually said, but the drawing is actually me. So yeah, I watched movies. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. And actually, how'd you get involved with entertainment and movies? I guess was this your career path you took after graduating from university?
Well, there was like after my last year at the composition, there was a student at the film academy, and she asked like she needs some composer to do like music for a short film, and that was a long time ago. And back then we did like with samples what we had at the time. So then that was like my first attempt, and I don't think I even saved that music. So that was like first attempt. But I actually noticed that I like when I'm composing to like imagine things, and then what happens after is that film producers and they ask me to use my music in their movies. So this happened like in 2020. Jude Rawlings, my good friend, he's now in America. He asked me to use my music in his movie called Red. So this is all available on internet. And then I did like I was like a sound assistant for special effects for a movie Daydream that was 2015. It was a small part, but for me it was very important. And I did also music 2017 for a movie, science fiction movie, Robocracy. And I think his name is Juan Careaga. He's from Spain. I'm not sure. But at the time, the movie was at Cannes Festival. So I do have like experience with the movie, but I I prefer then when they ask me to use music for like particular scene, than when I'm composing for a scene. So uh, this is like I think it's much more comfortable for me that way.
That's pretty cool. And it was just more strictly. I don't say B movies. Was that what you said when you were talking to us? Are these movies that are not very well known? I guess You want to
No, no.
discuss them a little more?
It's like they are like short movies, like 15 minutes.
Okay.
Except for I think that the movie Daydream for 2015, that was a big company, and I was like sound assistant, this kind of like special effect. I was doing like something in different program, but that was something else. But those movies where my name stays as a composer, they are like short movies.
That's pretty cool. And I guess is this still a job you do to this day? I guess you got any other movie projects you're being a part of at the moment?
At this very moment, no, but there are some negotiation. How can I say?
Hey, keep it rolling there, honey. You're doing a great job.
Future.
See, like, got a nice little bow and everything there too. Little thing. That's all cool. But best luck to you on your movie career there, right there. So, I guess in terms of influences, I guess who would you say influenced you in terms of piano?
Well, I was thinking a lot about that like influence, because when I was a child, I actually didn't have like a particular like person who would I say like that inspires me or influenced me. But then I was like thinking, at the time I was playing a lot of classical music. I would spend like 10 hours practicing piano. And I think that Rachmaninoff, his music, had a lot of influence. And I think that this movie Shine, where Jeffrey Rush is playing, that was, I think it was recorded in the 2000 or at the end of the 90s. I'm not sure. But this is one of my favorite movies, especially because he's playing Rachmaninoff at the concert and all the story. And yeah, I think that Rachmaninoff is definitely my big influence.
I was going to say, you grew up in Belgrade, or Belgrade, however you pronounce it, Serbia's capital. I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong. So, I guess when did you come to Vienna? Was that when you were coming to university at I guess late teens?
That was when I finished my music academy in Belgrade, and I just didn't see myself there anymore. And I wanted to expand my knowledge and what I do. So it's like almost now 2011, I started with electroacoustic composition at Elek Institute here in Vienna. So it's 13 years. Yeah.
That's great. And I actually can kind of segue into this question here too, which deals with the topic of COVID here too. So I guess, so you came in 2011. I guess, how bad did COVID impact you? Because you were living in Vienna at this time when it came in around?
Yeah. Well, that's actually interesting because I think that those 2 years of lockdown, they were like very, how can I say, inspirational for me. Because during that time, I had time to start again to write my own songs. Because before, I would focus more on instrumental music or different kind of like electronic and playing different instruments, etc. So then I started suddenly to write lyrics after a long time. So I also started painting again. Then I developed different skills. I learned Logic from 2020, because before then I was using Cubase and Pro Tools. But then lots of my friends were using like Logic for recording and then sending files, and then I suddenly had time. So then I learned Logic, and I also improved my video recording skills at the time. I opened Patreon. So Patreon helped me a lot to stay creative and motivated, because I had like a small audience who would like follow me. I mean, I still keep Patreon. And I also improved like video editing. So I learned like how to work with Final Cut Pro. So I think those 2 years were very, how can I say, productive to me, because I think life was like a little bit like slow, and then I had time to like reflect and actually to like come back to myself, like things that I really maybe I forgot. So today I'm doing like all by myself, like video production, my music, like playing different instruments, guitar behind me, bass guitar. I also learned, learned. I used to play bass guitar like 20 years ago or something, but during lockdown, I got a bass guitar, and then I start to like again to improve my skills. So yes, so I think when you are an artist, it can be different than for someone who has like I think different professions. So for me, it was very productive.
It's more of a blessing in disguise whenever you think about it. So yeah, it really actually helped you out too. I guess it didn't impact anybody in your immediate family, because I guess were they still living in Belgrade at the time?
You mean the COVID? I didn't understand you.
In terms of COVID, yeah, did it impact your immediate family? Because were they still?
I think they all had. So it's just like it was everywhere, and that was like a very. That was actually very frustrating because I couldn't see, like I couldn't travel like freely to see my family, right? Or we would need like, you know how it was. You need to pay like a lot of money for the test so that you can enter to different country, and then at the border cross it would stay like it would be like a military instead of police. So it was a little bit like not so good.
Pretty tense situation. So yeah, I can understand.
Personally was very hard. I mean, speaking for art and for what I do, that was like really productive. But then speaking like emotionally, like with family and friends, that was very hard.
Yeah, I can imagine there too. But it's good to see you're doing well there too. So I guess, is your family okay? Everyone, it's all good and
Yeah.
everything?
Yes.
That's good.
Good.
That's good to hear. All right. God bless you. It's good to have you around here too, Marina. So
It's good to have you too.
yeah. Yeah, we're doing this podcast interview here too. We get to share some stories and stuff. It's all good. So,
Yeah.
so.
I need to thank later Justin, because I was watching his interview, and this is actually how I found out that you are doing this, which is really great. So this is really helpful for us musicians to be heard, and to for the world to find out what each of us is doing, and maybe we can also collaborate or do something together.
I guess, speaking of which, I guess you want to talk about the gear that you use. I guess, is that piano behind you strictly for practicing?
Yeah, this is my piano. So it's my grand piano. Of course, I play piano. I use a violin for some special effects if they are needed. I use some different instruments what I have around for special effects, or bass guitar. So then I would then sit by the piano first and have the structure what I am doing, and then I would then record everything into Logic and then do the production at the end.
I guess, what sort of brand is your bass guitar, violin, and I guess all the other gear you use? Are they from a specific store, or are they all different brands?
No, they are all different. Like I have this violin maybe like 20 years, and it's not like some kind of brand. It's just instrument that it's useful. So I mean, I'm not violinist, but I know the instruments. But of course, you need to practice so that you can know to play. And I'm not practicing, so I'm just using for the special effects. And sometimes I'm playing with a cello bow, the bass guitar. So this is how I am like discovering new sounds, or when I feel inspired. So, but no, they're completely different brands. Nothing like extraordinary, except for piano. This is my big love. piano is Boston.
I'll say, what floor do you live on? Because actually, do you live in an apartment, or are you in your own little house?
It's like a high ground floor.
I'll say that must have been terrible just trying to get that up a flight of stairs, to be honest. So
There are actually no stairs because it's like a high ground floor. So maybe like actually no, there are no stairs at all. No, it's all flat.
okay, so it's a little bit easier. So I stand corrected. That's all good. All right, that's all cool. And I guess when it comes to like making a song too, I guess tell your process of like how you create the song. Do you normally? I think you were saying you did lyrics like recently, so I'm not too sure. Do you do lyrics first and then do the music afterwards, or do music first and then throw the lyrics in?
Usually I think for me it's like I have like a better picture if I have like lyrics in front of me. But then I found myself in a situation when someone would give me some lyrics and I felt not inspired at all. So I think that depends of the probably of the subject, what is the story about, and how are the lyrics and so. But when I write my own lyrics, I'm always imagining and trying on piano how it would sound. And most of the time it would come simultaneously, playing piano with some maybe singing, and then come some lyrics, some words, and then later I would like correct them, because lyrics, I mean, what I said earlier, I start like 4 years ago, maybe 5, but it's getting there. So yeah, I mean, I could say it's easier when I have lyrics, because like I already like have a story, so I can then make like the right mood. But as I said, it's not necessarily. So I think it depends.
I guess go back to the film industry that you're kind of a part of too. I guess whenever you're trying to make the music, I guess are they giving you like, I want to say maybe a snippet, like maybe like still seeing like, hey, this is what's going on here. Can you try to build a mood? Is that how it goes whenever you're making music in the film industry?
Well, yeah, but that is more like a collaboration between composer and the film producer. So it's how this collaboration goes, and what he or she actually needs. So then you need to adjust to their needs. So then you need to be very flexible to do exactly what they want you to do. So that's why I prefer when they ask me to use my music.
I would say like just in terms of like Game of Thrones, for instance, when they do like the music in the beginning there too, I'm thinking like, how do you guys actually compose that music? Because I feel like you would need something visual and then try to see like if it comes into your mind. So that's
Well,
at
I
least the way I approach it.
he probably had some visuals, because usually film composers, because I know them, they usually have already the picture of or at least some of the stories, so that they can go into that direction.
Yeah, I guess so too. But hey, it all works out in the end. It all makes some killer music, and so do you. So it all matters. And this is actually a question I brought up a couple of times. It does kind of go back into COVID, but it's more about the music scene in general. Because when I was interviewing Ella, Mike, and Marina, they were kind of saying like the music scene was kind of on a downward slope, and then COVID happened, and then that just like brought it down to like a new low, for instance. So I guess, so what's been your experience with the music scene? You think it's on the up and up, or do you think it's kind of stagnant?
Well, I mean, I was going out like much more before. So I would hang out with Lydia lunch often. She would come here during 2019, and then also during pandemic she would come here to play at Chelsea. So we would like just hang around, and because in my dissertation I also write about her and did an interview and these kind of things. So that was like that was a very good time. And Also, when Laibach was here, I met Ivan Novak and had a very nice chat with him, or Mike Garson. He was also here, but that was all like 2000, I think 18, 2019. So I think that after COVID, that things did change a little bit. Or maybe I don't go out as much as I should.
Probably, but hey, I can understand why. I was trying to remember what year it was. It might have been 2018. It was one of our trips. It was actually no, that was 2014. Jeez, this has been 10 years already. But it was a riverboat cruise, and we actually came to Vienna. I remember going to Schönbrunn Palace. One of the things that do. But we didn't get a chance to like see a whole lot, at least from my experience. I don't remember seeing like pretty much a whole bunch of Vienna. So I guess if I'm living there so long, I guess what's some good places to go check out if people want to come and visit?
Well, I mean, we have like really great parks here, and really great history with museum, like a national arts museum. It's very, very cool. It has like a cafe in the middle, and it's very Viennese. It's very nice. And also, if you come to Vienna, there is like a small like village in the city. It's called Grinzing, and it's very intimate, small area, but it's still in the city. But then it's like a very intimate. Beethoven used to live there. I mean, he changed like I don't know how many houses, a lot. So I remember first time when I walked there, I was like, oh my God, he walked here and I'm walking. I remember how excited I was. So definitely Grinzing, and they're very, very nice, nice things that are like not really like only tourist things. It's more like Viennese style.
The everyday Viennese sort of lifestyle, if we wanted to say it that way. So I can see why. That's a cool deal too. And it always would be nice to come back to Vienna there too, because I would like to at least see a little bit more of the city. So I think we were only there like 2 days. And I think one of them was mostly just around Sternberg. I think I actually remember going for that maze, and I think I got it the first try, and the second time I went through it, I just could not do it. For some reason, I just had trouble. So that was kind of funny.
What do you mean? What did you try? Sorry.
There was a maze outside of Sternberg Palace, and I forget how I did, but the very first time I did it.
That's actually because the zoo it's on the right side. I remember. Yes, I never did that. You did that?
Twice actually. So,
oh.
The very first time, yeah. The very first time I got it, and the second time I don't know how I did, and I just got lost. So I eventually got my way out, but it was kind of funny. So you see why.
Oh, I just look at that and I move on.
Yeah, we don't need to get lost in there too. So, or be like a Maze Runner, do like a. That's right. That was that whole trilogy series. Yeah, Maze Runner. So that's something.
We have here really great, like how you say, like amusement park. It's called Prater, where you can like do a lot of things, and it's very safe. And lots of our friends from America comes here because they know it's like they want like to have fun. And they also know it's safe, so they're very extreme, like things like jumping and those kind of things. So
I think it was also an amusement park with that big Ferris wheel. That's like the big box cars, and you could have like a wedding or some sort of reception in them or something like that.
It just the thing is that it's very slow. You know, if you are inside and sitting, of course, at some point you can see like the whole city, but then. It's really slow. It's moving like very slow.
Slowly, yeah, I can understand why. All right.
It's a little bit boring.
Hey, dude, your own. All right, I can see why.
Yeah, for me.
But for the next question too, I guess in terms of your lyrics, I guess what really inspires your lyrical content? Do you base it off a real life experience, or do you just try to like see whatever comes to mind, see how that works?
Well, I did have like some very like strange dreams during pandemic time, and then I was like asking like myself like, what's going on? Why I'm having like this kind of dreams, and they're like very vivid, like, and they were like very like unusual, like some horror movie or something. I don't know. And then I said, well, I'm going to write them down. And then at some point I was actually having like, I don't know, 10 songs, and they are all like fiction, but the stories and everything what was, it was somehow in my subconscious. So then I decided to write them down, but usually I write about, sometimes autobiographical, of course, like we all do, but sometimes it can be like inspired by some movie, or just maybe some story that I heard, or general in life.
I would say, I think in terms of like how dreams get a little crazy, I think it's also based off memories, for instance. So I think if you remember like a real good like horror movie, for instance, I think for somehow it seeps into your dreams, for instance. So it's pretty strange. I would say mine, they tend to get a little weird at times, but unfortunately, and it's probably a good thing I don't remember them too, because I think they've always felt pretty weird after I woke up from them. So it's like, okay, thank God I can't remember those, because I think that was a really weird dream I was having. So do that or avoid drinking milk before bread. So that's probably a good thing to do. So I can see why.
Well,
And I guess
good thing is like what they recommend, like before you go to sleep, to not eat like, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, because also food can also affect the brain.
I think you'd be right too. So it would be a lesson, but unfortunately, I'm guilty of it. I can't help but have a midnight snack every now and again there too. So sadly, but it's a fact I'm willing to accept. So
Well, that's not so bad. We all do
hey,
that, and then
hey, at least I'm being honest too. So I mean, honesty is a hard thing to come around these days. So I guess in terms of social media, I guess first off, what sort of social media are you on?
I mean my music, where is
Music, and I guess also just in general. I guess what sort of social media do you use if you post anything for, say, if you're on vacation or doing something music wise?
yeah. So all my music, I mean, that is published publicly, it's on Bandcamp, but then it's on Spotify and Apple Music. And of course, I mean, I'm using Facebook, Black Marine page. So I have my website, but website goes under marinavesic.com. So then there are like different kind of things on that website, because at the time I used to like teach, and I was doing like a lot of different presentation during my doctorate studies. So then there are like the whole list of the also contemporary compositions that I'm doing like for this New York ensemble composer concordance. I'm their like PR director online. So I think that social media, it's like really important for us artists to put our art, our music, so that other people can like hear and then interact with each other and then support each other. And several months ago, when I had like a little bit more time, now I have like a little bit more time, and I found out like there are lots of musicians on Facebook that they are like really supporting each other. And I actually didn't pay attention before, because I was like using my page and like promoting like my own stuff, and then I didn't know, and then I found out for some group, and then for some another group, and interestingly, all those people are in America, and it's very interesting, and I'm really grateful for that. There are lots of artists and musicians like supporting each other and just like each other pages or playing music or collaborating. So I think it's very nice. Although I must say I did enjoy MySpace back then because it was like only music. So that was I would really wish that we have like really I know that we have like so many platforms, but I wish that we have like really one like strong platform which would be like only for music where we can also interact and collaborate and do different kind of musical ideas. So yeah.
Actually, I think it was the first one I mentioned about MySpace because I think way back then it was like early 2000s when that initially came out, and I never really got the chance to really use it too because it seemed like it died off pretty quick. Yeah, because like Facebook came along or something else. I'm not too sure, but I would say I know you mentioned about Spotify earlier. I guess what do you make of that comment that the CEO from Spotify made about saying you can make content next to nothing or something like that too? That kind of rubbed a whole lot of people the wrong way here too. I guess. Did you have a chance to read that article?
No, but I did see that there is something going on with the platform, and I didn't now recently release anything new, so I didn't have like any issues so far. But I will see where it goes. But I don't know. I mean, I'm using Spotify because I think that somehow people are feeling comfortable to listen music on Spotify. So I think it's good because people can find my music. Otherwise, I think it can be helpful for other people to find out about you. And I think that's all.
Yeah, I can understand why. I think it's best just to leave it on there because I use DistroKid for music distribution. I
Yeah,
guess use
this
that
is
too.
what I also, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That one really does the job, and I think it's just best to leave it on there just to be safe. I mean, if you want to put it also on Tidal and Bandcamp, then okay, fine, that's all good. I don't think there's any punishment for like having it like on all of them too with Spotify. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, because when I upload on DistroKid, that music is like everywhere on different platforms. So then you know that your music is there. You don't need to upload like several times.
Okay, so you part of the group Band Together because that's what Justin is a part of as well on Facebook.
Yes, yes, I saw that group, and someone actually added me, or I sent a request. I can't remember, but anyway, I'm in the group, and then there is also another group. Um, how they pronounce it? They have like this name, like a family, like
Duke Star Family Podcast.
correct. So those guys, they like played my music so many times. They would just like tag me and then say like your song is on our Spotify list, and I'm like, oh, that's so nice. And then I suddenly saw how people are like really supporting, which is really great. So actually, I'm not part of like many groups. I think those are like only groups that I'm part of.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch to get swept up in, to be honest with you. It's probably best to keep it simple. So I can see why.
Yeah.
I guess I could segue into this question here, too. I guess, what's been the challenges you've been facing being a musician these days?
Well, I think like probably like all of us, like life, like daily struggles, and being an artist has its like beautiful sides, but also has like its own struggles. So I think we are all in the same boat.
And I guess, I know I mentioned about the Facebook group Band Together. I guess, what sort of advice would you give to those musicians on Band Together, or I guess musicians in general? I guess, what sort of advice would you give them?
Well, to be original, to be your own, and if you already like have in your imagination like where you see yourself, you just need to be brave and go through all the steps that you need to go to achieve that. and it's a very hard road, and it's not easy at all. So to never give up and to believe and to stay true to yourself.
Yeah, sounds good. That's you. So, yeah.
I think that's for all of us musicians. Like we have like really great days, but sometimes we don't have. This is life. So that's why
That's
we
just
need.
life, yeah.
That's why we need like to support each other, like in different groups or in different projects, just to be for other musicians, for your friends. I think that's very important.
Absolutely, there too. It's good to have you along in the group here too. So keep doing what you're doing there, Marina. Yeah,
Thank you, Brad.
no worries. But I guess we're basically the questions here pretty good. So yeah, let's jump into the fun ones. Ready?
Yeah.
I think that's a yes. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Let's say, are you ready? All right.
Yeah.
But okay. I don't know if there's a delay. Might be a delay. I'm sorry. So for first, the fun questions here, I guess. What would you consider as your favorite food?
Oh, that's a Greek salad.
Greek salad. I guess. Is there anything mixed with it? Because they don't put anchovies in that, do they? Because I think when I was in Scotland, they seem to mix anchovies in with some of their salads.
No, because Greece is like my second country. My best friend lives in Larissa. So I also have a friend in Athens. So I used to spend a lot of my childhood in Greece. And I would usually have their like Greek salad. But there were never like kind of fish or anything in the salad. It's more like vegetables, right? And I love cheese.
And cheese. You can't forget the cheese. Yeah. I actually got a friend out of Greece too. It would be nice to eventually go to Greece there too. I don't know if he lives outside Athens. I think it was outside Athens. But have you ever been to Athens before?
No, but I plan to visit.
All right, sounds good. I'll have to share some pictures from that when we get to that point. All right. Now, for next fun question.
And then other small like part of the Greece when you can swim, like beaches and so.
Yeah, I should look for the spot of Thermopylae where the whole battle scene happened right there, and then actually it would be nice to find the island of Troy and see where that was all at too, and pretend to mimic like you're charging the walls of Troy, for instance. So that'd be something. All right. The next fun questions. I think you did answer this one, but just out of curiosity, I guess. What'd you say? What was your favorite movie?
Shine with Jeffrey Rush. He's playing there Rachmaninoff. And I first time when I saw that movie, I really liked that a lot. So I can watch that movie anytime. But of course, I have like my favorite actors, like John Malkovich. He's like really crazy. I love movies when he's playing, and also Anthony Hopkins.
Good old Anthony Hopkins. Gotta love that actor too.
Need to say that last week maybe I saw I'm not watching actually horror movies because I like more like light movies, but I watched the movie The Piper. So Chris Young did the music, so I can recommend it. It's a very good movie. It's not so that scary. The Piper, yeah, it's not so scary. I saw like scarier.
All right, sounds good. Actually, I think it was Hereditary was one of the movies that seemed to do real well in the horror genre, which maybe for Halloween might be one to watch. I'm not too sure, but I don't know if you ever saw it, or I guess what's our horror movies you were in at the time. So,
but it is really great music in horror movies, like Chris Young did for this Hellraiser, Hellbound. So this is one of my favorite theme, but I didn't watch the movie. I mean, it's very scary. It's like brutal, right? But I really love the music. So as much as I'm like not fan of horror movies because I like more like different maybe things, I really enjoy the music.
Each his own there too. So, all right, great choice. For the next one right here, I guess. First off, do you drink any alcohol?
No, I love coffee.
You're a big coffee drinker.
Yeah.
Actually, the industry I work in, we work alongside Dunkin' Donuts. So we do coffee and donuts and everything there too. So I mean, you at least get along with us. So
I love coffee. I can't imagine like a day without coffee. That's also almost impossible.
I'm gonna say, do you like it very strong with a lot of cream and sugar, or I guess what sort of coffee do you like?
No, I don't. I don't like sugar, but I like to make like a black coffee with milk.
All right, that's all cool. And I guess for the last of fun questions, I guess what would you say is currently your favorite song, or a song you've been listening to a good bit recently?
Hmm. Well, I do love, as I mentioned, like this music from Hellraiser. It's very cool. And there is like this new piece that Chris Young did, Nosferatu, but it's not out yet. So this is like really, really great music. So I think it would be more like not maybe like a particular song, but more like music from a movie, if that makes sense.
I was gonna say which movie, or I guess is it strictly more Hellraiser? I guess was there other
Well,
music from different movies?
I was going actually into that direction because I really love the theme.
All right, that's fair enough there too. I guess was there any, I guess, in the indie music scene you've been listening to a good bit recently, or has it kind of been more strictly Storm Kingdom so you can get an idea of how to approach his music?
No, I didn't actually have time. I was like having tour since January, so I was traveling a lot and I was like so busy. And then when I had the time, then I was like listening to this Spotify list and to other artists. And then I suddenly came up to his song. And then I heard his voice. And I'm like, I really like this. So then I approached him and then I asked him about a collaboration. So I am only now working with Justin because otherwise, if I'm working like on so many projects, then my energy would be like everywhere, and then who knows if I will be finished at least one project. So I like to focus on the new material because I also like he's more into this like Greek things, mythology, not mythology, how you say like.
It's a mythology with there is a little bit of Greek, but I think he was also getting into the Sumerian gods. I think now.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so he would like send us to Carl and me. I think his name is TJ, but he like sent like a story, like this is the story, and then you two can then sing, do your part. And I'm like, oh, this is like very exciting. I never done this before, and I love to sing very much. So then this is like the second song that we are working. So this is also very interesting.
All right, can't wait to hear what you guys got. So best luck to you both.
Yeah, thank you. I'm very excited too.
Marina, we're down to one more question right now, and I guess before we jump into it, did you have any questions for me, or any final words you want to say before we jump into it?
No. No, I'm very grateful that we had this time to chat. And I really like what you are doing with different artists. And I think this is a very nice chance for every artist also meet another artist and to meet you and to maybe work on something new together. So it's very nice what you are doing, Brian.
Thank you. No worries, too. So, all right. We are down to the last question right here, and here's how it goes. So, given what COVID has done, obviously, it seems you've been pretty blessed. You weren't really impacted by COVID that much. I know a little bit family-wise there, too. But regardless, for other musicians and people who are perhaps impacted by COVID, whether it was because of COVID or something else before it, what sort of message of hope could you give to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward in a post-COVID world?
You mean musicians that used to play and they are not playing, or that they are like...
They're struggling, to say the least, whether it is because of COVID or something else.
Well, I mean, there is one thing. If today, this is what my mom used to tell me, if today is like a bad day, tomorrow is a new day. So if one is struggling today, tomorrow will be better, because it can't be the same. So just, we all need to have hope and to stay strong, because being a musician is not, we all know that sometimes it's not so easy. But there is always tomorrow. And there is always some call that you will receive, and you never know when this can happen.
Spoke like a true prodigy. Sorry. I wanted to pause a little bit there, too, because I wasn't sure if you had anything else to say. So it's all good. So thank you so much there, Marina. Okay. But, Marina, we appreciate my podcast right here. We talked a little bit over an hour right now, but I guess, do you have any final words? Any shout-outs you want to give before we close?
Well, I want to say thank you for those people. They know who they are, for playing my music and for supporting me. And I also want to mention a band that is from Serbia. They are my two friends. Their name is Ludwig, and they're playing more like so kind of like gothic music with like in combination with electric guitar and some electronic support. So they're like really interesting, and I think people should check them out.
All right, sounds good. And I know you mentioned about your social media and I guess streaming platforms earlier. So can you just mention them again for the audience so they can check out your music and show support on your social media?
Yeah, thank you.
No, that was actually a question. Can you just list the social media and streaming? You're good. You're almost there. You're almost at the finish line. All right.
Okay. No, I mean, it's like Black Marine. It's on Apple Music, Spotify, everywhere, Bandcamp, it's Black Marine. So everyone who is
there could be only one. So yeah.
Look, actually, I did type once Black Marine, and then there was like some boat service. So and I'm like, okay, never mind. I do love sea, I love boats, it's okay. But yeah, there is only one Black Marine. When one type Black Marine music or Black Marine composer, then it comes everything, like also on YouTube. There are lots of videos that I have created in the last 4 years. So yeah, I would appreciate it very much if people have time to check it out.
All right, sounds good. So, everyone, my guest today was Marina. She's hailing from Vienna, Austria, aka she's Black Marine. There could be only one Black Marine. And you can go check her out on all socials, all streaming platforms. Sure, you go support her out. And I guess, did Justin give you a release date on your collab yet?
No. No, we don't have a date yet because it's still in the process. I'm now getting into the song and recording some ideas, and then I'm sending like Justin to hear like these words, this part, and so it's getting there. But no date for release yet.
All right. But we'll keep our eyes open nonetheless here too. And good luck to you and Justin on your collab. So
yeah.
Marina, I want to thank you again so much again for coming on. You stay safe. It's a crazy world out there. Rock on. Stay tuned, y'all.
Thank you.